Good morning, good people. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Let's keep this live going. I looked at the time and said, girl, people gonna beat you up. You running late. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Okay. Ooh, that was a loud noise. I hope you guys are feeling alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. My son used to say that to me when he was a kid. He used to say, I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Okay. That's what we doing today. Good morning, Kimmy Keisha. Good morning. Good morning, Ray June. Good morning, Dancy, Lisa. Good morning, Char Legacy, Mr. Little. Good morning to you. I'm gonna get straight up in it because it is Thursday and it is a little after 7, and um, this is the morning due for certified doers, just like you. Okay, Lulu, 19. Good morning. um, yeah, it's Thursday morning, so this is where we do our little thing this morning. I'm getting myself together. Um, Hey, can y'all do that with me? Just take a deep breath real quick because I'll be getting it. All right, so good morning, good people. Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Vet Certified Doer, Laced Up Legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Also, like your friendly neighborhood government translator, coming to you with a little bit of dew to keep your Thursday going. Please remember that this is meant to be a conversation. So if you have questions, comments, or concerns, drop them in the chat. It is perfectly okay. This is how we do this together. I know that I get going and get talking, and I also have been forewarned by Miss Yolanda to make sure I check the Facebook comments because I ain't been seeing nothing of people on Facebook. So Mr. Little, you on Facebook? Hey, Mr. Little, get at it. Okay, but this what we do here, this is not just a check-in with each other. This is a charge. This is that slow drip that wakes up the roots, your house, your mind, your city, your purpose. But I believe that people get tired. I believe that the news is loud. But I also am like amazed that you are here. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about starting where we stand. And I want you to say that with me today, like start where you stand. Start where you stand. I'm going to start where I stand. Let's start with Virginia real quick. I'm going to give you a snapshot of Virginia, the political situation, and then some encouragement. And then anything y'all put in the chat, I'll sort of pivot and stuff too. So just use the chat as much as you like. So let's talk Virginia first. So the General Assembly is kind of out of session. We're out of the 2025 session, but we're still in the 2024 special session. I know that sounds weird. We should be going back to, actually, I'm going back to Richmond today because I have a commission. I told y'all, like, we have these other things outside of session. We also have, to go to these commissions that we sit on to make sure the state is doing its thing. But we're out of session. But your democracy is still clocked in. What we're waiting for now is like final action on all the legislation. So May 2nd is a deadline for governor to act on any amendments that we have sent him. So that means over the next 7 days, y'all, decisions are going to be made on whether your school gets more counselors or more standardized tests. He ain't gonna sign nothing on marijuana, so we ain't gonna say nothing there. Whether certain things move forward, so we'll know. It's the biggest part of it is making sure that we have a budget that is going to be whole. Here's the part that we do not say enough. Right? Like, I think we need to understand is that the governor doesn't do this in a vacuum. He does this, and most politicians do it in the context of your silence or your noise. So if we are not showing up, somebody else will. I can tell you, I see it in my office in Richmond. So when I want you to mark your calendars for May 2nd, and I really mean it, mark it for May 2nd. Because whatever happens on May 2nd, whatever is enacted at the end of June, you're going to start seeing on your news TV new laws that are going into effect on July 1st, because everything that we act on goes into effect on July 1st, right? Everything that happens. So if there's something important to you right now, I mean it. We are watching. We should be writing. We should be calling. We should be tagging. If there's any state laws that you're like, what is that? So like, this is the time. Hey, Joanne, good morning. Thanks for you're welcome. Yesterday night, Miss Joanne said yesterday night, we had a town hall. If you missed it, you missed it. But luckily there was somebody there that said we need to do this more often, to which I agree. Y'all need to be seeing our faces in the places. Okay, so now let's shift the lens, right? Because I need you to say this with me. Start where I stand. I'm going to start where I stand. So we're going to shift the lens to what's happening nationally, because we all know it's not just politics, y'all. It's a playbook. I've said this. He is openly, hate to say it, the president right now is openly trying to expand presidential power because he's back in office. And I posted on my Instagram. So sorry for those who do, or actually it should be on both Instagram and Facebook. The New York Times just did a brief on exactly what is happening. So I know we all got overwhelmed, or not all, let me not say all. Some folks got overwhelmed with the number of executive orders that were happening. Well, there's a gentleman, I believe it's at the New York Times, that read through every last one of them and sort of broke down how some of them were redundant, some of them contradicted each other, some of them were straight nothing burgers, like an executive order to make America great. Right? Like that. What does that mean? What does that even access? So just think about that. There was like a lot of fluff in there, and then things that contradicted each other. And so I know that we saw, the having a lot of conversations about federal workers, having a lot of conversations about the military force, having a lot of conversations about targeting immigrants and community under the guise of public service. But I want you to think back to me. Back to the previous administration, where, I want you to think back to when we had like the Muslim ban. These things weren't theory, they were the power of the pen. And that is why I want to remind us sitting here today, because if you chose to join the Do this morning, that means you up and at it, that the pen also has power, and you also have power, because again, you are the hirer and firer. If there's one moment to hold on to for situational awareness as to how we take next steps, it's like this, to understand that you get to hire and fire people, and these people are already telling us what to do, and if we don't choose to respond with our state houses, in our neighborhoods, in our everyday decisions, we are co-signing history. It doesn't just what history doesn't it just doesn't repeat itself. It plays on a loudspeaker, and then sometimes we pretend like we don't want to hear it. But I want to bring it home. I want to bring it home. And like I said, drop whatever you want in the chat. If you got questions about legislation, if you've got comments, if you got anything, please don't hesitate. If the politics of how do I want to put this? If the politics of the powerful are happening daily, then that means that your everyday life, my everyday life, is also political. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say that our everyday lives are political, right? Everything is legislated. Because I'm sitting here fully clothed, that's because, I can't be doing that on the internet. I won't walk out the house naked, because I could get arrested for public indecency. I wear my seatbelt because it's a law. Our entire lives are legislated and are political in some way. But it's also very political. If our everyday lives are political, then it's political to check on your neighbor, which is a beautiful thing. To teach your child to tell the truth even when it's hard. To tell the therapist you're tired of surviving and want to thrive, right? These are powerful things. The light bill that you can't pay, also very political. The bus stop with no bench, very political. The school that you're not sure is safe, political. The pothole you hit every Tuesday morning like clockwork, political. And so I'm asking you this. Hold this. I'm asking this. What part of your daily life are you ready to improve? I'm genuinely asking. What genuinely asking, and as a matter of fact, as I do this, I'm gonna wait because some of y'all gonna put it in the comments. What part of your daily life are you ready to improve? If all that stuff I just said is political, then what part? I want to see it. Somebody gonna say something in the comments. What part? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Banners. Y'all got me in here. No, somebody got something. What part? It's that simple. What part? Because what did we say when we first started on here? Start where you stand. Start where you stand. Start where you stand, right? That's what we said, is that we're going to try to start where we stand. So I want you to think about that and drop it in the comments. And this is not to fix everything. It's not to solve the world's problem, but to honor the fact that you live right here, that your presence matters right here. And that is what I'm saying. I'm going to challenge y'all this morning because I'm challenging myself. I've been waking up every morning thinking like, anxiety, am I doing enough? What is enough? What power do you hold? But here is the power is to get more of us thinking about how we start where I stand. So I've got a challenge list for you. Are y'all ready? Take it down. I'm serious. This is a challenge because I'm challenging myself. I want you to challenge yourself to write a 3-sentence, and you can pick one. Okay. Write a 3-sentence letter to a legislator. Tell them why your neighborhood, your child, your wallet deserves better. I will, if you want it, I will create a template for you. A 3-sentence letter. Can I tell you, sometimes that's all it takes. I have gotten 1-sentence letters from constituents that I have called back because that's all it took to sort of articulate what their issue was. So that's challenge 1. When you do it, I'm telling you, it gets easier. And I'm telling you, folks that do not have the same values as us know how powerful it is to flood the box, know how powerful it is just to say the thing for themselves. So we are sitting here trying to do our everyday lives, and they are like group organized, putting work in. So 1, write a group. 3. Okay. Number 2, I want you to put a civic date in your phone. Hear me out. I say this again, put 1. I only said one civic date in your phone. So when I think about a civic date, I think about a budget day, right? A school board meeting, a renters' rights workshop, a civic league meeting. I want you to just put 1 date. 1. I'm only asking for 1. I'm telling this, starting where I stand. Starting where I stand. I want to remind folks that don't know, Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Bed, all that stuff. I am in this position as a state elected all because I wanted kids to have a place to do their homework after school. That's it. That is how I got into politics. I got out of the Navy, finally bought a house, and then decided that I wanted the kids on the bus stop, because I'm the corner house, to stop doing their homework on the pavement in the bus stop. That is how I ended up here. We are starting where we stand. Okay. This is not it. I don't have a background in law or nothing. And then I went to my civic league. So 2, put 1 civic date in your phone. Can you do that? Drop it in. If you can do that, if that's your thing, you can do that. And I'm going to say the other 5. And if you find one that you like, yep, I can do that. I want you to drop, I can do that in the chat. I just had a Master P. How you do that there? Ain't that Master P? Holla, we don't care. Okay, yeah, I'm dating myself. Here we go. So just put 1 civic date in your phone. I want you to, at your next community meeting, whatever that may be. Oh, I see all y'all been missing chats. I love this, Ray June. I love this. Charity begins at home. Yup. The bird child that says our country will be 249 years old this year. It took Republicans 100 days to dismantle. Well, democracy has not been dismantled yet. And I don't even want to say yet. It has not been dismantled. Be not despaired. It has not been dismantled. That's why I said I really want you all And it is hard because the media does hone in the bird childress. The media does hone in on the political wins that are counter to the majority of the American people because they're talking to them. Because if it bleeds, it leads. There have been so many wins that have like that it's like overwhelming. And that's why I'm saying like we have to be intentional about what we take in because it can lead to despair. So this democracy has not been dismantled, right? You have had Supreme Court decisions go against, counter what is happening and have been executed. Like we are seeing wins. We just not are seeing them articulated for us publicly. So be not despair. Holly, it takes groundwork. Doing the work is leadership itself. Come on, ground game. Come on, ground game. Come on, ground game. That's it. Derek, the activist, says, my standing up is for reproductive rights. Let me tell you this. All right. I've been going to career fairs. At elementary school. I mean, at middle schools. And the young ladies are fired up. And I was like, dang, that's different. That hits different. So I appreciate you standing up. And then a lot of girls said, okay. And then I love this. Hot girl Holly versus HVCI. At all, it's definitely being observed. Good. Okay, I can't remember what part that was about, but Ray June, any info on FEMA funds that are being withheld regarding Portsmouth water crisis? Really haven't heard any uproar about it. So Ray June, I'm gonna hold your question after I finish these, and then I'm gonna answer that question specifically about funds, because I do have an update on just situational awareness on federal funds, because I've been talking to heads of agencies, trying to get with my city too, to better understand what's actually happening so that I have the right language, when I talk to folks about federal funds. So I will wrap up with that. I promise it to you. I promise it to you. So I'm going to finish these things, and then I'll talk about what I know situational awareness as far as federal funds. And I don't know I'm going to give you hopefully the right questions to ask to get an answer about it and who you can go to. So number 3 was, I just want you to ask a question at your next community meeting. We're going through 5 things that you can do. Right. We're doing a 5-step challenge, y'all. Challenge list to start where you stand. Because that's the mission for this next week, is to just start where you stand. I don't care if it's at church, in a chat group, at a cookout. It's something simple of what's one thing you could do better? What's one thing we could do better on our block? Right? Like simple. It ain't got to be, I'm not asking you to be a philosopher. Just ask a question of the people around you. And that's what it started. The kids was like, hey, why y'all doing y'all homework on the sidewalk? That was the question. And the answer said, you know what? My mom's at work. And when we get home from school, so we don't really get to get help. And we sometimes try to get help in the morning, but she's tired. So that's that. And that led to this journey into office. So I'm saying, just ask something simple. Number 4, pick one part of your health this week. One part of your health, and prioritize it. I don't care if it's mental, emotional, financial, spiritual, because healthy folks govern better, even if you ain't running for office. And I said financial too, because that has been a strain for me. I'll tell you, it is expensive being elected, and clean hands and a pure heart. Ask my husband. Thank goodness for him, right? It's expensive. But so like, I'm trying to get healthy there too, because it's hard. And number 5, be a translator. And what I mean by that is, just like I was just talking about, Mr. I can't think of it, the Burt Childress, and he's like, we're dismantled. Democracy was dismantled in 100 days. It's like that is the way it feels based off what you consume. So don't just consume info. Make it a point to be able to, the thing that is troubling you, and be able to break it down for someone else. You may find that there are solutions on the way. Talk to your kids about local elections, right? Because their school board, I think a 16-year-old should be able to vote in school board elections. Explain why, explain the amendment or some change or something that's happening to your mom or your grandma. Host a Zoom group. That family group chat turned into a group Zoom group. If I can be a better government translator, like if I can take and get to a point where I am able to translate it to you, you can be somebody else's civic bridge, right? That's my goal, is to be a great translator for you, but I want you to be the bridge. You start being a translator. And I definitely want to make sure we understand this, especially for folks who say it's always been this way. It's always been bad. I love you. It's always been this way. Make it a great day. Set your intention. It's always been this way. And you're right. You're kind of right. But it's also always been people like you who change it. Let me just run the list. Like my dad was a state worker, veteran and a state worker. My mom was a union worker. They never ran for office, but I witnessed them organize. I witnessed them voting. I witnessed them showing up. What about like Dolores Huerta, right? Dolores Huerta, who didn't just co-lead the United Farm Workers. She mothered a movement by showing up in fields and in factories alike. Yet that si se puede, that was her. Malala, right? Malala, I can't remember her last name. She started one blog post, one blog. It's Yusuf. I don't want to mess her name, but it was her name, Malala. She started a single blog post, and turned into a global education campaign after a Taliban bullet. A global, y'all know Malala. And if you don't know, there's a Netflix show about Bayard Rustin, I think it's called Rustin, who organized the March on Washington behind the scenes, teaching us that the quiet work is still revolutionary. Fred Korematsu, he resisted Japanese internment during World War II, and whose Supreme Court case still shapes look it up. Fred's Supreme Court case still shapes the way that civil rights law is done today. Mother Jones, white Irish immigrant lady who became a labor legend, organizing miners, children, textiles workers in the early 1900s. They called her the most dangerous woman in America. Why? Just because she cared loudly. And then I'll give you this one, Chief Wilhelmina Mankiller. That's a name for that. Okay. She was the first principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. She reminded us that tribal sovereignty isn't like a side conversation. It's a pillar of American democracy. These people were not superheroes, y'all. They were humans who just stood on business. They stood where they were and they started. So now that it's our turn. It's our turn, right? We get a turn. Okay? We get a whole turn. That's all I'm saying. Let me go to the comments here. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, activist, Derek activist. And Derek said, he said, reproductive rights. Got it. I went up too far. Okay, so what's you? There we go. Hot Girl Holly versus HBIC says, I have come to your area. Bless the girls. I don't think I could make an impact by sharing knowledge and increasing awareness. I did. Oh, bless the girls. I didn't think, you didn't think you could do that, but you did. You absolutely did. The Bird Children said, get out the vote. Absolutely. You also said, I also followed up with the Bureau of Indian Affairs to ensure the safety and protection of our tribal members. Osage has been dismantled. We are committed. They've committed to genocide by exclusion. You should tell me more about this. They couldn't pay me enough. Ray June says, at least you ain't insider trading. Yeah, because that's what my husband's sick of me. He want me to do. He said, do we not benefit from you being elected? Yes, the community does, not our pocketbooks. Okay. Not our pocketbooks. Okay. That's not how it happens. David Glass James says, if you're having problems with your neighborhood, learn to use the My Norfolk org. Yeah, and also the My Norfolk app is amazing. The city really does care. They just need help identifying your problems, and that's why I say it. So I had to learn too on the back end of like doing this work in my community. Again, I'm going to remind you, I got on this path just trying to help some kids do their homework. Is that I had to separate the staff in the city and the politicians. And when I got to sort of working with, the staff, like people that are everyday folks, just trying to do what they're doing well, it shifted something in me, and I knew I could get help. Right. Even when my council person wasn't responding back to me, even when they was, straight up lying in my face, playing in my face. Right. Like, I knew that there was somebody that I could call in the city that understood, that tried. So thank you for that, David James Glass. My Norfolk app. And also he said mynorfolk.org. Yeah. Hot girl Holly says, yeah, these marks think they're running organ traffic rings. Definitely no trades here. Absolutely. And just the most intriguing thing about the DMV area, or that taught me, is Emancipation Day. I never knew it existed until now. We weren't emancipated in the South into, Juneteenth is coming up. I love the name. So we are aligned. Blessings. I love this. Yes, Norfolk Cares crew is dope. Yep. I love it. I love it. Hey, Nathan Sims. Good morning. We gonna continue the good fight, right? It is righteous troublemakers in the place. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. Good people, but these are great people. Let me close out because I know y'all got to get to y'all day, right? So what do? Y'all, we show up differently. We fix what we can touch, because that there's something beautiful about that. We fix what we touch. We get serious about the small things, because the small things are the system in disguise. Can I say that again? I want you to get serious about the small things, because the small things are the system in a disguise. So y'all, the systems they're watching and hoping that we don't do the small things, but also the children are watching. Right? The nieces are watching. The moms are watching. Something happened to me the other day, and I want to share with y'all so much. I want to share it. And I'm like, it kind of hit me in my throat, and I didn't acknowledge it when it happened. I didn't acknowledge it. I was kind of going hard on an issue the other day. And my spouse is my sounding board, and like my best friend. So I'm just going to refer him to, hey, best friend, in this. My best friend, I was like, yo, I want to say this. I want to say this. I want to say this. And I'm going to post this. Da, 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 da. And I was like, but you know what? And I'm just like going in, and he's taking it. And he says, you know what? I'm going to choose to believe you. I'm going to choose to believe that things are going to get better. And it wasn't that he said it to me, because he doesn't do he doesn't do out loud politics. He does the quiet. He's definitely a resting guy. He does the quiet things, but it's like never really political. It's just under the guise of community and taking care of folks. But the fact he looked me in my soul, and he don't even know it, and I should probably tell him this, but I didn't want to make it a thing, because he say I'll be making stuff a thing that don't need to be a thing. But he's like, no, I'm going to choose to believe you. I'm going to choose to believe that. And it put something in me that, like, I believe me too. But we also, in the carrying of all this, we have to take a breath. It gave me a moment to just breathe. I want you to touch your chest if you can. Touch your chest if you can. And I want you to say this with me. Hope is a habit. Hope is a habit. And healing is a hustle. Hope is a habit, and healing is a hustle. We are trying to heal so much. So some of you are working with folks that are on their worst days. Some of you working with people on their best days, and know that best can't stay a high all the time. But hope is a habit. The hustle is in the healing of things. And so I want you to go water your piece of the world today. water it. Just put some water on it. And don't forget that this morning dew was not meant to be an inspiration, but preparation. I feel like I'm your civic translator, right? It is preparation. To the point, democracy, it's not necessarily as fragile as we think. It's fatigued. The system is fatigued. And the cure for this kind of fatigue, it's not sleep, it is purpose. And so if you're feeling tired of the news, tired of politicians, tired of same old cycles, good. That means you're awake. You up. You are up. Now start where you stand. Fix what you can touch. Call who you can reach. And remember, I am just one part of the equation. One part. This role, and I'm saying me figuratively, I am just one part of the equation. You are the spark. Political folks don't tend to do a whole lot out of the kindness of their hearts. They do it out of pressure. So I want to go on today and make today matter. Let that morning dew keep dripping into what you're doing. And I'm going to see y'all back here next week. Same time, same great channel, good people. Same truth. Stay rooted and stay ready. I'm going to go in the comments and then I'm going to sign off here because I got to go to Richmond today, y'all. Oh, I love that, Black Chamber. Thank you. We fix what we can touch. I mean it. Fix what we can touch. Oh, and I got to answer the FEMA question. Hot Girl Holly says they're hoping can get races to teach others out of default. We know their character is defaming those for it, character defaming for rises in power. I don't know if I completely understand that. Bert said, we teach our children history. The slave trade unions, the Jim Crow laws that were written to prevent prosperity of our people during World War I and concentration camps. And I think we hold all those things in our hand, right? Like, don't forget to remind them. Remember, I just did a little snippet on this in a video, was that do not forget that the collective we goes beyond our skin. And that what is big. And we have to take care of our own too. Like, allow us to take care of our own, but collectively we have one enemy. We all have one. So whether you are a part of the Japanese heritage who was put in encampments, whether you were gay in the 80s and were dismissed because of how you love, just remember that. If you were a coal miner in the Appalachian whose dignity was being taken, and now that cycle is repeating too, right? That cycle is repeating, my friends. That cycle is repeating. They about to get it in some of these rural areas. That's for real. We have to be grounded in the fact that we have to take care of our own where we stand, but understand we have a common enemy. Lucky Way. Thank you. I hope they were helpful today. Hot Girl Holly says, when I first arrived here in the DMV area, I was grounded and placed in barefoot on the soil and meditated. I was compelled to restore justice. I love that. And that is an everyday thing. This is why we got to remember, I said, water your community, water yourself, and do one of the 5 things. The last thing that I wanted to do for y'all today, and Ray June, I'm coming back to what you said, any info on FEMA funds that are being withheld regarding Portsmouth water crisis. Haven't really heard anything yet. So let me give you a little bit of situational awareness of what I know thus far. So we have, I'm going to do state and local, but then talk about the FEMA because we just got a briefing on that. We have two primary sources of funds, federal funds exposures, right? Like, we have sources of data. My office have picked out. We have a statewide list of about 250 distinct federally related funds numbers from the state level Department of Accounts as of like January 25th. Because when this started popping off, my team was calling people, okay? Like, hey, who? So we, for the state as of January 25th, that's light years away. with the way the world is moving. And then the second for us is the city of Norfolk has a detailed sort of line item spreadsheet showing approximately $162 million across 87 federally supported items. That is as of April 11th, 2025. Neither the state nor Norfolk currently has like a centralized system to link these accounts to specific federal grants or programs that fund them. What I mean by that is it's the federal government may turn off a light switch, and it's going to take us a little bit of time to figure out what appliances went out. In February, our team discussed with two people in the State Department of Accounts a possibility of like centralizing data to grant to account data. So here's the grant, here's the actual account that's affected. They have confirmed with us that the state's accounting system, which is Cardinal, it's a system called Cardinal, does not store federal program identifiers, and indicated there are insufficient resources to compile or centralize this information, making it very hard for people to make quick impact assessments. And that will be difficult if federal cuts occur. So meaning because these things, a grant to account aren't lined up in that way easily, they can't rapidly, and I'm sure people are working on this, they can't rapidly make decisions or assess what's happening because that flow chart ain't flowing yet. As of mid-April, the city of Norfolk reported there were no formal notifications of federal grant cancellations, but noted that Norfolk Public Schools is probably a potential early warning area for fiscal distress. I say that is because that's probably many localities are going to see that this is probably the place where you're going to see a lot of fiscal distress out front. With regards to FEMA, now I sort of dug in for some information about what's happening, especially with emergency response, because we're getting ready to go into hurricane season. And here's what I learned, and I'm going to choose to sort of believe that this is what's happening en masse, especially as the relationship between federal funds, the state as a fiduciary responsible person, meaning we're responsible for the money, and then swirling that out to the localities, is there are, and this is a win. I can't remember who was like, we're losing. So what happened is that the state was in a position where all of our emergency management funding was going to be slowed down, not taken. But what they said was, hey, what we're going to have y'all do is y'all got to prove all this other stuff before we give y'all money. Okay, this is statewide. So our state emergency management, which, the FEMA part is a part of that, 65% of that budget is federal, 35% is state. And those are a little bit, and I know that sounds wild, but a lot of disaster preparedness money comes from the federal government. Are we going to have to start working on what that looks like? Absolutely. The writing's on the wall. That's the work that we have to do. So what ended up happening was they were saying, hey, y'all gonna have to prove X, Y, and Z to get this money. That's $90 million at the state level. Do you hear me? For us, that was like 90. I think he said 90. I think that's what he said, $90 million thereabouts. However, they got sued at the federal level, and guess what they did? They gave people their damn money back. They were like, okay, well, you know what? Not gave it back, but was like, go ahead and get it. You don't have to wait this process. Now, what is happening, and this is why I said you got to have the right questions, the Bert Childress, is that what you need to figure out or ask in Portsmouth and ask their emergency management office is, was that money for the water crisis taken, or was an application in, and the application was then, because all applications for funding got put on hold. So there are things out there that never got granted money. They never got granted. It's like, again, like putting in for a grant, and then they say, you know what, we've halted the grant process. So you were never advocated that money was never taken from you. You never had it. It was never coming your way. You were still just waiting on hands and pins and needles to see if you were going to get it. And that does make a difference, right? So that's what I would start with saying before you like, hey, they took this money. Find out you go to your emergency management. You should be able to email either your city manager or your council person and say, hey, was the grant for that FEMA, I think you said water crisis money, was it applied for and not, was it granted and taken away, or was it applied for and our application was then halted? That's the difference, because language matters, right? If we weren't, so it does. It just does. It for me in this world. Yeah. So there we have it. That's what I got. I don't know if it answered your question completely, but I'm doing my daggum best. Oh, Miss Juneteenth said, good morning, delegate. Good morning. Black history is so deep. I love this. And we are honored that we can teach our young people. Would love to connect, delegate, especially about that. Yes, always. You are always, head up to my website or just, email me, call me, Delegate Jackie Glass.com or deljglass@house.virginia.gov or 757-472-1293. So just think 123 and then put a 9 at the end, because that's my district is 93. So 1293, that's the district. Good morning, Ms. Dawn. And I'm gonna get on my way, because guess what? I got a keynote speaking event this morning. I'm gonna go to Samaritan House Hope and Healing Conference and speak at 9:00. And then I'm headed to Richmond to be a part of a commission that talks about how IT systems work within each department, with all the departments, so social services, all that stuff. It's a new thing for me. I'm gonna be learning, but I'm honored to serve and do it. All right, sound Gucci? Sound good? What we're going to do this week, we're going to start where we stand. We're going to start where we stand. We're going to start where we stand. Okay? Is that fair? Because hope is a habit. Healing is the hustle. Right? Water your piece of the world. Right? Fix what you can touch. All right. Be well. Always here. Certified Doers. So grateful to be here with y'all. Until next time, I am Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. I cannot wait to see what you tell me you did this week. Okay? All right. Be well, good people. Be well, good people. Doers get more done. Don't sue me, Home Depot.